What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW videos. We have some exciting information to talk about in Pokemon Go, centered around Infernape getting the exclusive move Blast Burn added into Pokemon Go, of course, for the Community Day. So many people have the dying and burning question of, how good is Infernape in Pokemon Go? So we are going to be doing the deep dive series on Infernape, talking about this Pokemon from a PvP perspective as well as from the raid perspective. Should you unlock a secondary charge move? Should you invest anything into it? And then of course so much more. So I'm very excited to get into the video. If you do enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Infernape. With a max AP of 2,683, Infernape is a dual-type Pokemon of fire as well as fighting. So because of this typing, I do think that Infernape is going to be compared a lot to Blaziken, which we are going to be talking about that later on in the video, just so you can kind of get a comparison between those two. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We've of course got the stats that we need to go ahead and talk about. As far as the stats are concerned, its best stat is its attack stat, which is going to be a good thing, but if you check out the ranking at 112th, that is a little bit on the lower end. And then when you take a look at the defense stat, that is going to be its lowest, ranked at 292nd. As far as its overall ranking is concerned, it is at 157th. So it's not necessarily bad, but it's not that great. It's at least a little bit ahead of the pack. This is including Generation 5 Pokemon, by the way. Now, as far as the moveset is concerned, there are some interesting moves that are worth talking about. So that's going to be like Fire Spin, Rock Smash, Flamethrower, Close Combat, and then finally Blast Burn, the Community Day exclusive move. So a lot of people are going to be curious about this. So as far as the matchup is concerned, Blast Burn will beat Flamethrower literally every single time. So Flamethrower is out. Not necessarily a bad move, but Blast Burn is going to be the victor in that regard. Also, if you do want to use Infernape from the fighting type, you could go with Rock Smash and Close Combat. But unfortunately, Close Combat is not the best fighting type move. You're going up against Pokemon that, one, have better stats, and then number two, have a better move set with a move like Dynamic Punch. So I think a lot of people are going to opt to go with Infernape from the fire typing, and then of course use Blast Burn. You might as well go ahead and get that with the exclusive move. I actually do not have myself an Infernape in the Pokédex because I've just been building up the candy, getting ready for the Community Day, so I would highly recommend you to do that for all the starter Pokemon, the few that we can 100% predict. So normally I would go through a bunch of raid simulations, but I actually wanted to go ahead and showcase a graphic that I think is going to depict this in a much easier way, plus you're not going to have to wait to get any type of updates from the different websites. And that is going to be just the DPS comparison in these cases. So when we take a look at the different starter Pokemon such as Blaziken, Typhlosion, Infernape, and then finally Charizard, you can see that Infernape is ranked in at the 3rd position, just comparing to the starter Pokemon. You've got other fire type Pokemon like Moltres, for example, which is going to be ahead of these, but this just kind of gives you a comparison. As far as the DPS is concerned for Blaziken, we have a 15.93 with the exact same moveset as what Infernape has, but its DPS is 15.63, so roughly 0.3 lower, and it barely edges ahead of Charizard. So it is in at the number 3 position, at least in comparison to the other starters. I don't want to go through all those raid simulations because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is it's not necessarily that great of a Pokemon when you talk about it from the rating aspect. Regardless of that though, I thought it would be kind of cool to go ahead and pull up some of the rankings centered around Infernape from the PvP side. So as far as the rankings are concerned, it ended up doing best in the Ultra League, and there is going to be something that I have to go ahead and point out in this case. Because as you can see here with the charge moves, we do not have the move Blast Burn included in here, so this is going to be the rankings beforehand. But the important thing that I want to talk about is the actual ranking. Like I said, this is the best case scenario where it ranks out at 212th with Fire Spin, Flamethrower, and then Close Combat. So what's going to end up happening is Flamethrower will be replaced with the move Blast Burn. So what is going to happen is it is going to go up in the rankings just for having a better move set from that, but it is still not going to be one of the top options that you want to have from the Ultra League. So the final conclusion for this is that Infernape is just simply not worth powering up in Pokemon Go. And then when you're talking about unlocking a secondary charge move, it is at least going to be on the cheap end because it is a starter Pokemon. So if you are interested in PvP, I would say go from it from that perspective, but at the same time, just keep in mind that it doesn't necessarily have a good move combination. If close combat were something better like dynamic punch, for example, then I would say, yeah, go ahead and do it, use it from the PvP standpoint, and it will be no problem. But anyways, I want to know what you think about Infernape in Pokemon Go. Are you excited about doing the community day? Are you excited about Infernape getting yourself the shiny variation? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. If you want to develop a deeper connection, I would highly recommend you to check out Patreon. We've got a lot of really cool things going on over there. Check out all of these supporters that we have. We are almost up to 100. We are also posting some special content, some behind the scenes work. And if that is the type of thing that interests you, I would highly recommend you to check it out.